Hello everyone and welcome to this special YouTube London session live trading stream where I've actually just taken my first trade of the day. So I hope you're all doing very well. Please give me a quick sound confirmation. I'll have a look at the chat in a minute. I just want to walk you through this trade real quick. So I have just done my stock market update over on our website at CC, and we found a good reaction here on the 5-minute. We really like this 5-minute structure. And then I've seen this nice retest where I've taken this trade here. My target with this trade would be the VWAP. So I kind of think, I'm now going to trade my stop loss because it's my first trade of the day. But I would like to hold that for the VWAP test or else be stopped out for tiny profit. But I explained this reaction here in terms of the candle structure, because this is always candles that we like to look at, especially during London session. So yeah, let's see if this is now some decent profit. First trade of the day, so I have to trail it. So this is going to log 200, which is fine. But this was the first trade. So now let's have a look at the chat. So sound is good. That is very nice. So Paul Foster is here. Michael Scott, Homefound, Ground Racing Gold, Endura, Whale Hunter, Pablo is here. Chart Champions is in the house. Nice. Leah. Good to see you all. 1 hour late. No. It was scheduled for UK time. So we just wanted to wait for some good volatility to kick it off here. And typically that's around this time. So perfect. Rashid, Nitro the Monkey, Chris. Good to see you all showing up here in the chat. Let me know if you have already taken some trades. Oh, we just can see this gap up here. Maybe I should log more. Just because, first trade of the day doesn't hurt, right? So, slowing this. What is this? 260. Yeah, that's okay. That's okay. To see if that can hold. Okay, the sound is good. Perfect. Severin, good. Nice one. Is everyone using TradingView footprint chart? Yeah, so we have Coach Igor who customized a template for TradingView. So I highly recommend to check that out, because if anyone is looking for that one-stop shop, it is available on TradingView with Igor's templates. So that is nice, and we can just see some follow through. It is a very sensible idea to trail it up here just a little bit, because first trade of the day, I'm always very greedy with my profits, because I have to build a profit pad. We're now up 315. So that is perfect for a start of the day. So Moondream is also here. Eric, very nice. So you live in Germany? No. You are phenomenal. Yeah, great. So in this session, I do want to have a look at the futures market, and this is why we're trading, by the way. I do want to have a look at the futures market just to see if we can catch some trades here and there, because lately what we noticed also with the contract rollover that is taking place as we speak, actually. So I moved to the new contract now, which is the September contract, and we had NY session being a little bit choppy lately, and we obviously listened to our feedback. We looked at what you guys were saying in the chat, and I thought, why not do a London session stream this time? Because I found that lately I've taken one of my best trades during London session, which is very unusual for me. I would say if we look a month back, for example, I would always take my best trades in NY session. But now it's time to trade London session. We as traders obviously have to adapt. So that's what we're doing here, just to see if we can catch some good trades. So I'll be covering the futures market. I will also have a look at crypto, see what's happening there. And yeah, just cover a couple of markets, have some fun. Please be aware that everything I'm covering here is obviously no financial advice. It's just for educational purposes only. If you have questions, feel free to pop them in the chat. I'm going to have a look when I have some time. And then we can just have a chilled and mixed London session here, looking at different markets. So Just as a quick update for what I'm looking at on NQ from my daily plan is resistance above price. This will come in around 22,144. And the area of support that we have is below price, sitting at 21,980. So what I like to do, especially when we look at those scalp trades, is box it in with levels of interest above and below. If we move into these levels, it's time to look for those good reactions and see if I can actually take a trade or have to stay out. But in between, it is always a little bit more tricky to trade. If we get good reactions, we can jump into quick scalp trades, but the predefined levels should be the main focus always. We can also have a look at gold for sure. Yeah, I'm going to cover a couple of markets here. So let's see what ES is doing. ES with a lovely retest actually of this previous week value area high. Something I noticed, by the way, when we look at the markets here, we have quite a high tick range. So if anyone, for example, was interested in the retest of the previous week value area high, which was a level we looked at during the stock market update as well, which I done on the website. This is a trade we like to take, especially following this reaction. But the risk here on ES, 25 ticks to the downside, is rather high. So this is a $312 risk. This move is already 40 ticks, which for ES is quite high in terms of tick size. This has to do with the contract rollover at the moment, that the price is just snapping a little bit more. We have seen that on ES as well with this candle here. My trade, I didn't even use the low as my invalidation. So I was looking at order flow and saw that I just don't want to see one particular level in between lost. So I took this trade here with the local invalidation, because for my first trade of the day, I don't like to go above $200 to $220 risk on NQ. Whereas if I had placed my stop loss down here, this is $400 risk. So this is something we have to be aware of. Okay, so obviously the profits can be bigger as well, but the losses can compound quickly. So risk has to be on, and we have to be very aware of these things, because when we are trading, the thing that should be the primary focus for everyone is always the risk. What is the risk for me to find out if I can win my next trade? Okay, so is the risk above 200 for the first trade? Ooh, that's a red flag for me, to be honest. Okay, so yeah, what can we see here? So there's now no trade on NQ. I would like to wait for higher or lower to be interested in my next trade. Similar for ES. So yeah, why don't we have a look at a couple of markets here? And what do you think today will be up or down overall? So I do have a gut feeling that price is going to make a new high. So I think that ES and NQ are going to take the previous day high. I can actually explain to you if we go over to TradingView here, and something I like to do, which can be interesting for everyone. When we have these contract rollovers, I was just talking about this in the stream, but I like to be a little bit less focused on our predefined levels, because during these rollover periods, we have a new contract that is not reliable in terms of the old volume profiles. The old contract is getting less reliable in terms of previous day profiles. So it's a little bit mixed here. I like to always pair it with market structure at this point. And what we can see, if we use this as the reference point, that was our first low that we take into consideration for the local context building. This is the low, high, higher low, higher high. So this means there is a confirmed 30-minute market structure change to the upside. That in itself increases the probabilities for us to make another higher low. And we also have one particular statistic that our members definitely know, and this has to do with the daily open, which is clearly pointing towards a move above previous day high. We're actually going to place an alert here to see if that plays out. And how funny is the previous day high, by the way, on NQ, 22,222. Okay, so it would make a nice medium time frame high in terms of this number, but I would say there's a good chance that we take the highs. So same for ES, we have the same right here, low, high, higher low, higher high, expecting another higher low for us to take the previous day high again. So yeah, that is that. So while we wait on something to happen, I'm also gonna have a look at BTC. So BTC, this was my plan from the last public YouTube video that I done. So obviously still in that day trading long here based off the SFP of 100,000. If we do not make a new low, this is perfect. But if we do, this is my next level of interest down here, following a fractal that I showed in this YouTube video. So I hope you saw that one. But let's have a look at the local price action here of BTC as well. So I do want to update this a little bit and see where we are. So I'm just going to put this into my, I would call it swing trading long, swing long for BTC. So that's that. And this MPUC is hit. So I'm going to see, do we have new MPUCs? Also a reminder, this was the short I gave as well. So we are in a nice position, long from the lows, short from the highs, could be worse. But let's see if there's something new here. So in terms of weekly, I didn't check yesterday, but there was a weekly. This is just, I don't mark it out with these candles. So we do have this daily here, but I wouldn't trade based off this, to be honest. This daily is tab, but then I would expect a new all-time high, so there's no new dailies. We can have a look at the volume profile for BTC, looking at weekly MPOCs, daily MPOCs, just keeping this in mind here. Do we have, no trade. So let's check this. I was checking hype in my last altcoin weekly update, which yeah, it's interesting. It's a very, very impulsive asset, let's put it this way. So took some time for hype to actually build up some hype, but now we can see there is definitely some movement. So on BTC for the weekly NPOCs, I like to look at a 150 tick chart at the moment because we had a massive volume here. Well, we have massive volume, so I like to increase my tick just a little bit. And we can see there was a weekly MPOC which was missed by, looks like just a few dollars. But something I can already see here. I'm going to have to check this, how close we came to this MPOC. But what's interesting to see is that this level is also the week prior's MPOC on the weekly time frame. So there's a lot of volume here, okay? And I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you on TradingView again. But in terms of volume theory, this in itself is going to be an interesting level. We don't really want to see 105,000 lost, okay, as that is a massive NPOC. 104,955, I'm going to mark it out real quick. 104,955. Yeah, it was literally missed by $1 or something. Okay, fair enough. Let's check this on the daily profiles. Delete this. And what can we see here? The daily open is inside previous day's value area. We are right at the daily open. I can see bullish divergence here, so that means there is quite a few shorts open here in this range. We just got 30 million shorts, 9 million shorts. What is this? 10 million. Oh, people are really shorting BTC at the moment. Let's see if they are right. So this is at least leading to some bullish divergence here. So you can see that this red line here is the CVD. Okay, so CVD is making a lower low, price is making a higher low. and that is the divergence that we can see. Something that looks fairly interesting to me is this zone here around the previous week open. I just like how we found resistance once, twice, 3, 4, 5 times, then we got the break. So this is a level I'm going to keep in mind. Take this information over to TradingView and check if there's some good level at around 105,800. Okay, so there's no special MPSCs. So there's 110,900 lining up with previous week high. So for a scalp trade, okay, this is a nice confluence, but I'm not too interested in shorting that level up there. So let's take this information over to TradingView. So it was 15800. Let's see for this range of volume. Yeah, time frame levels, only this to the upside. Well, I'm just looking at the structure here before we do that. And what I like to see, for now at least, is we've taken these highs. That was a nice liquidity grab, so this is good. Made this higher high. Currently price is holding a higher low, so preferably we still gonna get higher. But in my opinion, it depends on this zone. If we can hold between 105,000, let's just say 900, and 104,600. If this is lost, the probabilities for a move into that level significantly increase. But this is just my perspective by looking at plain price action, just analyzing market structure and the look of this chart. So let's pop in a volume level here. Okay, we are at the value area high of this range. I'm gonna check anchor VWAP from the low. Okay, this is also lining up here. So this is tested too many times for my liking to be interested in that level. So I prefer to use a anchored VWAP that is, yeah, from the most recent pivot. So this is nice. Let's see, overall we do have this contracting price action, obviously, with price making these lower highs and higher lows. Not a perfect triangle, obviously, just to visualize. Ultimately range bound. So let's see this. 105,900 is actually an interesting level, but for this I will go down to the probably 30-minute time frame even. But this is going to be interesting to hold this on the medium-term time frame. If 104 is lost, I prefer a bigger pullback. Okay, but in the end, that is still a nice level. So let's see this. Let's see if we have something for this local range that we had. Value area high is preferred. Yeah, that's what we got here. So low time frame value area high, but I do need to include this. That's even better. So I do like this profile. I'm gonna call this key. We're looking at scalp trades at this point, by the way. Okay, so this is not looking at swing trades here. We are in a long from the lows, so there's no need to compound this trade here. This is just scalp trading or day trading perspective. So we can hide this. See for this pivot. ACC, if we get additional confluence here. This was missed here. I bet that was hit there, yeah. Okay, but anyway, the 6 is not hit, so I would say we do have a scalp trade here. If that was, or if there's a good reaction. So this anchored VWAP, what I like about that is that it's lining up with all of this supply, and I like to trade based off supply and demand, which most of you know who are following along. But this is supply once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, 6 times broken impulsively. So this is good. We got the retracement, many shorts opening, we get bullish CVD. So I am going to place an alert here. I wouldn't preset this level, but if there is one of my 3 candle entry strategies forming here, I would consider a long trade at around 105,813, just based off this right here. Okay, have to allow this a little bit of room, but this is my alert on BTC. Yeah, and once again, this is just a scalp trade, not a swing trade. See this? Yep, beautiful, nice anchored VWAP. Also, it would take some liquidity here. Always in terms of a more conservative approach, always possible to wait for the reaction here, reclaim a reference point, which can be a previous low, and then take the long trade with the local invalidation, something along these lines, and then target a new high, for example. I just don't like to be too bearish on BTC yet. So let's have a look at this. Alert is placed for this down here, for this anchored VWAP. Also, let me know in the chat, is there any altcoins you want me to look at? Just having a quick look at futures here, see if there's something happening. We are bouncing off the 50 SMA here again. Overall, rather small moves now. So I would say this was the best trade for now. This is forming as a nice one. What's the risk here? Let's see this. So just got a new 5-minute candle. I do really like this structure, to be honest. This 125 risk. Still like to see the VWAP hit. This ES. Potentially reclaiming that value area low. NQ. What about this? Just rejected the point of control, but yeah. I do like this candle, so it's the risk here, 130 for 370 reward. Might have just missed it here, but I do see a scalp long trade on NQ, but the target would have to be the VWAP, because else the range is just too slow. It's just a bit too slow on that one. But just how that candle formed, this was a nice telling sign for me that the next candle wants to get this follow through, and we can see this next candle now opening all the way up here. So there's still a little bit of chop. We have to agree on that. Oh no, yeah, I did miss that one. But beautiful candle. If anyone is interested in something really powerful, just check these candles that are breaking supply zones, okay, on the 1 minute, and then see the follow through. But yeah, up here I can't really long, but it's nice to see anyway how that played out. So okay. Okay, so I can see some altcoin requests coming in here. I haven't seen your strategy and transfer mind if you shed light on your entry model with candles. And this is, oh, I have an entire lesson on this on the website, so I like to keep it there. Check APT, Pepe, Tau, ONDO, ADA, Igor also in the house, if you're doing well. Okay, there's quite a bit. I can see Pepe a lot. Yeah, let's have a look at a couple. ETH first one to the daily. Solana. Nothing to update on Solana. Updated that last week. CRV, beautiful short trade here from the short into the long. Let's see if this can hold here. SPX. Does anyone know, by the way, in the chat what was happening here to SPX? Because I was doing analysis on this one and I saw just a day after we had this 110% move to the upside. So no idea what was going on here. Okay, Pepe. Got this pullback, which is very similar to what we see across altcoins. So on altcoins, we just got this local weakness, which in the end is good to see for us to hit lower levels of interest. On Pepe, my alert remains at around this previous supply zone, lining up with the demand here. Where we are now, I don't see a great trade. We slightly missed my short area of interest. We came very close, but I've done the front run, so I myself didn't take this trade. Is what it is sometimes. But on Pepe, my alert is placed for down here or still up here, which I missed unfortunately. But hey, that can happen. We have seen this short target hit on WIF, because I think what's a lesson here again is on altcoins we just have to be very patient, wait for some good levels to hit. But if there is weakness coming in on some of these altcoins, it just catapults over to so many altcoins. This is how we managed to catch this short trade on CRV, WIF. This was the idea here, because we noticed there was a consolidation range. It was broken, so a retest looks probable for a short or for a pullback. And yeah, this idea got activated here on WIF. On Link, we can see nothing. Doge had this day trading long activated here. I wouldn't take this again. One thing I will say though is losing this here on Doge is not great. It's really not great, to be honest, because we had a beautiful low. We had market structure changed. It's a very important level. We don't want to see that lost. We don't want to see that lost. But I can update my chart here and see if there is potentially a short trade. Only ended in 20%. It's not bad, but there's no new monthly. Let's see for the weekly. This is tested too many times. This is a big level. If we retest this anchored VWAP, this anchored VWAP is a big one. It's going to be this zone. Just big resistance on a Doge. Okay, I'm going to place an alert here. See if we include the entire volume. Yeah, I must say if we lose this point of control on Doge, it is looking likely that we're going to make a new low, to be very honest with you. Just looks like that. Interesting. Tau has this anchored VWAP and oh, this is nice. And this, so we might have a trade on Tau. We might have a trade on Tau. We are super close and it's the value area low. That is perfect. So on Tau, I'm going to place an alert right below this low and see if I can get an SFP. So only if there's a good SFP here, we take the lows into the level close above, then I have a nice long trade. So Tau has to be on my list right next to Ethereum. So this is good to see. As that is also really the last level on Tau, which if lost, I would say 240-ish zone, 250, let's say 250 first, is very probable. Is very, very probable. So important level to hold up here. Let's see if we can also get a nice short on this. Daily. Anchored view up. I'm gonna have to check the MPOCs real quick. While we wait for NQ to do something, this Tau USDT, we can just check some markets. Let me know in the chat how your day is going thus far. Any trades for you? So Tau, I do want to go down to take 100 just to see if we have a new MPOC, maybe above price. Nothing above. Let's check local. Because Tau, if I remember correctly, and I know you in the chat will know better than me, but I think Tau has to do with AI, isn't it? I think Tau is one of the AI altcoins. Please correct me if I'm wrong, but this is what is left or what I remember, because I looked into it at some point, and that is what I remember off the top of my head. So we do have an MPOC right above previous day high, also not a bad one. 393, yeah, no, this one 421. This is, yeah, that's amazing. I do like 421 as MPOC. So MPOCs 421 with a decent confluence here. 421 daily naked point of control on Tau. So we can look at interesting level to the downside and to the upside. Very nice. So this is just too far away for now. I'm going to place my alert here. This is an area of interest for the short. This is the area of interest for the long. Yes, AI Tau leading you. Nice one. Perfect. So I remember correctly. Okay. This is this right here. Let's see. BTC still pretty flat. Is this downtrend anchored view up? Yeah, if BTC doesn't hold this area, and so the last level is going to be this MPOC, in my opinion, weekly MPOC, then I would look for below 100K. Yep. Which I know many people always think, oh, we don't want to see BTC below 100,000. That's terrible, bear market, all bad. But this is where we get the best opportunities. We need a good pullback for us to get into a good long trade. So I'd be very happy to see BTC below 100,000. See Tesla moving along very well. I don't want to check gold here. The futures of gold are the best. Where is it on my watch list? This one. There we go. Oh, gold near a new all-time high again. We just had the break here. It held the CC, so that is nice to see. Gold very strong still. And NQ moving into the view up now. So this is what we were looking for. Nice move up, but let's check gold before I'm gonna stay there for a little bit. I think this is a good level on gold to hold for the day. Go to a 4-hour time frame. Yep, so this is the level to hold for today on gold, between 3,370 and 50. And this could potentially then push it into a new all-time high. Let's see the volume of this, if we have additional confluence. Yeah, perfect, amazing. That's it. So even better than the CC, that's the zone to hold, to then do something along these lines. New all-time high would be above 30,500. So that'd be a good scenario. Okay. Just gonna check something else. Here's a good question. Why do you not include the wicks in your anchored VWAPs? Okay, an anchored VWAP is called average, volume weighted average price. If we do an anchored VWAP, we decide on a point we anchor this anchored VWAP. It cannot start at the overall low. You can see it starting somewhere in the middle here because it's taking volume into consideration. So just by looking at this anchor point of this anchored VWAP, I know the point of control of this candle sits somewhere up here. So this is why it's anchoring right here. You can try, but it's never going to give you the exact low. So here you can see I pull it at the exact low and still it starts up here. This has to do with the volume. Okay, let's place an alert for gold as well. And just quickly have a look at this. I do see a scenario forming here where if we flip the VWAP, this is going to be an interesting level because we can see supply once, twice, 3, 4 times. Down here, there's not another trade. Either like to see a pullback or the claim for a trade. And I want to check hype real quick. It should be somewhere here. There we go. Hype, I'm going to place an alert for 40.5. Just intraday, I do want to check the volume profile of this real quick. Hype. There is an MPUC at 43. 40.3. And this is an area of interest a little bit lower. 40.3. Yeah, we get some nice areas here on these altcoins, even for intraday trade. So alert is placed. 43 is the support here on hype. So I hope, and I really recommend to check it out if you haven't, but I do have a altcoin strategy even on YouTube, and this is how I'm entering these trades. So there's 3 pillars I need. Context, 1. What is context telling us here? We just analyze this here. Higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. Context favoring for a move up. This is the most important thing we have to know. If context is pointing into one direction, we look for confluence. In this zone, we have confluence of the CC, daily and POC, and the daily level. So that is perfect. Now we have confluence and context lining up. So this is 2 out of 3, but we need one more. And this is a reaction, so an execution trigger at our level of interest. And now I can only place my alert, wait and see. What I would do for day trades is wait for my personal entry strategy again on the 30-minute time frame. So I do have to wait for it to be hit, check the 30-minute reaction, and then decide if I want to take a trade. But we have all the criteria lining up for it to be interesting. So I have to put this into here again because we have tau close to a level, hype close to a level, and we have BTC close to a level. So those are the 3 I like to look at. When you say context, what do you mean? So context is always what you have to ask yourself when you look at any chart. You want to ask yourself, what is price trying to do? When we look at market structure, we can easily see, is price trying to go higher or is price trying to go lower? Because market structure is always giving you the best clue. Then we have to see, is price doing a good job? An example for this is, let's for example say this is our market structure. Price is making a high, higher low, and a higher high. Technically, this is a very, let's say, very shallow higher high, but it's only a liquidity grab. We don't even get candle closes above. Then I would say price is trying to go higher, but it's doing a bad job. We can see that in context reading because we can't even get the candle closes. This is very ugly now, but anyway, can't get the candle closes above. Okay, so this is how I would read context in that regards. On hype, we can see we have taken the highs, so market structure is continuing up, and we can clearly see we spend time volume up here. So price is actually doing a good job in its attempt to go higher. We haven't lost any lows, so still I can look for higher until this low is clearly lost. Okay, so this is market structure, I would say, is the most important for me to look at the context there. All right, let's see if we can catch a trade on the futures. It's going to be interesting now to see if we can get this claim. So that is where I think the next trade is going to be presented, if that was the case. Yes. Okay, let's stay on this for a second. And I can check Fartcoin at some point as well. I have to say it's a weird asset, but it does offer good trades. So we just, I mean, this was during one of the altcoin streams. We had a level as simple as an SFP, and it was respected. We got the bounce, and we got a move of 66%. So at the end of the day, whatever it is, we can't complain about these moves, is it, right? So at the end of the day, we care about opportunities and nothing else. There's a fresh weekly below. This liquidity. Gonna hide this. Yeah, I already know what the plan could be here. Very simple. If there was an SFP into the weekly, into the value area low, and we reclaim the point of control, there can be a long trade here. So I have to wait, placing an alert there. And now back to the futures. Let's see if we get the claim here. Let's try. 5 minute is closing in 1 minute now. No, it has nothing to do with the news. Although, so the context doesn't have to do with the news, although we have to be aware of these events, because we all have seen the bad news. Yeah, recently, obviously, global sentiment, tensions, Israel, Iran, and all that. So we have to be aware of that, because that can always lead to bigger moves, bigger volatility, uncertainty in the market. I'm very surprised that it's not having a big impact, but is what it is. But it is something to be aware of. Also, we can look at data releases, and I'm going to see if we have something today. I like to use a Forex calendar for this. It is a app in the App Store, for example, and we can see 1:30 UK time. We have core retail sales today and retail sales 1:30. This is a high impact data release. So I don't know, probably you can't see this, but it is filtering the high impact news. So let's see if you can see it. If it has 3 dots on the right hand side, it is a high impact data release. So let's see what's happening here. If we can get the claim, we just got a decent 5-minute close. This is good in terms of 5-minute, to be honest. It's not entirely above, but we're retesting the point of control now. Is the risk here only 100? Preferably see another move up. Could take a very tight one here. Let's see this. See if we get a push up. What about the liquidity? So we do have 16 contracts above. Not the biggest, honestly, but just gonna see if we get a rotation up, because I would like to see a claim, but no, there's not a beautiful reaction yet, so no trade, just staying patient. For the clusters question, this is a really good one, but I have an entire course on the website about how I'm reading order flow, and sometimes I don't like to explain this in 5 minutes. I know there is a lot of questions that would come with me explaining this in that short amount of time, when we have an entire course where I spend, I think, 30 to 40 minutes just explaining what exactly I want to see here. I just don't want to take the complexity out of it, which leads to you not really understanding what I'm talking about, and in the end, potentially even reading it wrong. So I would say best is to watch the courses for that, honestly. Let's see here. It's forming as an even bigger supply zone then. The 5-minute just looks like it wants to rotate up. This is what I can see from this 5-minute structure. Oh, this is my bias. Can also check the, oh, we are on the left screen here. Can see the order flow there. About a tiny scalp here, maybe anticipating this break. So we get a new 1 minute. Let's see if there's a pullback into here. It's the risk 110. Wouldn't hurt really. It's the reward. Just don't like the reaction there. What do we have? 21.6 negative delta. The volume is just crazy low. volume is crazy. Could look for that long trade here at the point of control retest. This that would be there. This is an invalidation. Would give me a risk of yeah, that's it. What's 100 risk? But finally the volume. This is good. This is good. This is good. Do we have what's going on here? This is very unlikely during that time. So no, there's no data release. What is going on? I'm always, when that happens, moving over to the news feed to see what's going on. Wow, this is just getting volatile out of nowhere. Can't see any data release yet. The EU not yet offering a fair deal. Okay, there was something Trump said with the tariff thing again. This is impacting the market now. So that is super interesting to see here. This is bearish for the market. Trump is speaking. Okay, let's see if we can even, if I can have a look. Oh yeah, I can see it.
To that, I really do look forward to that. But
yeah, I can see a speech happening there with Mr. Trump. Okay, but we don't like to trade the news. We're now going to wait for good candle formation to see what's happening here. I also thought, I mean, in the US, isn't it super late? So why isn't that guy sleeping? But yeah, let's see what's going on here. So it looks like still stuck in that range. Where's the next big volume? This can always be a good reference point. We have something below, but not too big. Chance of Japan deal, but they are tough. Not too much a mood to negotiate with Iran. Okay. Let's wait and see for good candle formation here. That might potentially give us something. I'm staying on the news feed here, so if there's something new coming in, I will let you know. Just waiting now for a second. Now we're getting this move up. You can see it on YouTube. You just have to type in Trump speaking, then you can find it. So Canada will pay to join Golden Dome project. Pharma tariff coming very soon. Okay. Did it impact BTC or some of these that we're looking at? BTC. Not really. Is it Ethereum? Tau, not there yet. Hype, oh, hype almost there. So this is the watch list for today. BTC, Tau, hype, Fartcoin. Okay, so looking at that. We get a new 30-minute open soon. So this looks like a doji almost. Not too much we can get out of that. This is a nice 5-minute. Okay, there might be a scalp trade forming on that new open. Need a pullback. It's 22.58. We are at the same place as before this volatility picked up. I had a terrific conversation with Japan on trade. That's what Trump says here. Okay. We're just gonna stay patient now to see if we get this break. And then a decent retest of this supply zone there. Because it's attempting to move up still, but not enough confirmation yet. And always for these trades, the invalidation is obviously not going to be down here, but a pullback uses a local invalidation. So this is NQ. So trading NQ futures here. Let's see if I can get this retest. I would like to see a pullback into this level. Maybe we need this 5-minute close for a bullish close. We can see this here. Okay. If that closes clearly above the VWAP, I'd look for a pullback and then long. Getting a local one. See a VWAP retest here. Everything would have to use a local invalidation, obviously. So something along the lines of stop loss just below a 1-minute low, because what's the range? As always, we have to ask ourselves, how far could this trade potentially run? The target would have to be the value area high, so this is only possible with a local invalidation. Okay, we just got the 1-minute retest. The risk here is 130. So I do have that feeling that it wants to push up. So there is 140. Wow. Whenever we look for this trade, it just pumps based off something he is saying, and then this is annoying. Because that would have been the long, this invalidation and then target value area high, but this is now a little bit too late, so gonna have to wait a 5-minute close next. Someone mentioning gold. Yeah, but we have that level on gold still, it's all good. NQ now with the new local high. Yeah, liquidity is low. We can see that in the books. It's super low liquidity, but there was one filled here, 20 contracts, but it makes sense with a speech right now. So this yeah, typically happens when we have these speeches, that the liquidity is pulled from the books. So yeah, low liquidity it is. And he just said, combined, no, ZEW combined with the reason this could bring economic stagnation in Germany to an end. Let's see. Okay, I'm having a look at the 5-minute close, which is now not the best one. Let's stay on this one. We wanted to see the close above the VWAP, which is not here, not given. This now looks a little bit weaker. I wouldn't long this here now. Don't like what I'm seeing. Just checking this real quick. Tau hype. None of my alerts hit yet, so staying patient. We're coming into the zone now. The liquidity is just very, very low, I must say. Could take a trade with tiny risk based off this CCTR. We just get a close above this. Have to see if that's given though. See, the point of control is now hit. It's looking choppy, we must say. There's some above, so 12 contracts, but this is highlighted in red, and this is 12 contracts, which is not a lot. Just having a look at this point of control. Not really convinced. Some liquidity stacked around the viewer, but this is not a lot. Yeah, we experience a very low liquidity market now. This, not really a nice hammer candle there. Bounce off the 50 SMA here again. See if we can work with that. Target still value area high risk. Okay, let's see a close. Yes, with the conflicting sign. Take one with a very low risk here. There's a spread though, crazy spread. See, targeting a value area high. If it can hold. If not, I want to be out for small risk based off this reaction. But it was entering with a $40 spread, which is a lot. Hype hitting alert, checking in a minute. Risk is $100, so I'm happy to take that. Candles are moving a little bit random here, so we just got a new 5-minute open. Liquidity is still, I mean, we can see there's something that you can always do is check the DOM here, and this is just the maximum contract. We can see is this 5 contract down here, 5 contract here. This is very, very low. But I see if that can hold or not. 5-minute, literally zero volume. We can see we are in a minute of this. Might just close the trade because I don't. Yeah, crazy. There's zero volume. Yeah, stop loss it. Wow. The volume. So let's check hype there. Hype. Need to see that a good reaction here. This BTC pulling back. Ethereum. Hype. So I do need some time now. I need time for this to play out. So eyes have to be on hype now. But I need at least 30 minutes for this one to be activated, okay? I must almost say it's better to stay away from trading this on NQS. The volume is just too low here. Don't think it makes sense. So we have Black and Blue. So I asked about Filecoin 2 weeks ago, and Severin, you were very bearish about it. Go to minimum 8.6. Yeah, perfect. I'm very happy that I done so, because this was the perfect trade. Turns out it did the opposite here and went all the way up to 1.5. Okay. Yeah, this is hard for me to understand because this was the area of it, or this was what I was looking at 2 weeks ago. And yeah, you are more than welcome that I mentioned 8.6 because let's just see. Let's just see. I was talking about 8.6. So let's do a test here. Let's do a test. And we're gonna hide everything. 8.6 is what I said. We draw a line, 0.86. 0.86 is what we hit. Yes, perfect, to the tick. And it is not done the opposite, as I was looking at a long trade at 8.6 and secured 60%. So don't really get that. Yeah, but thanks for reminding me. This was a really good setup. So let's check this. Getting a new 5-minute open, but NQ is flat here. Wouldn't take another long. So let's check hype. Hype with a good reaction. Hype with a good reaction for now. Why don't we check the open interest for hype for a second to see if there's new positions opening here. Can see, okay. Sells into the lows, 88,000, still 20,000. Shorts opening. Typically good to see that. Because if people become too bullish at the lows, this is also not the best scenario. One thing that is obviously something to take into consideration is the fact that we didn't hit this entire confluence. We're simply bouncing off the CC for now, so it's only one of 3 confluences hit. So let's wait on this. For myself, I would need to wait another 13 minutes to see how this candle forms to be interested in that trade. NQ to me now looks like it wants lower. It's a massive spread, that's what I don't like. Because when we check the 5-minute time frame, 5-minute also looks like maybe we have to clean something up down here. But with an entry here, we get a spread of quite a bit, so it's another 120 risk. Typically in London session, I do always want to see that price could get some follow through. And the follow through is just weak as of now. I could see this one trade based off this, but just give it a second. Is hype still looking good? Yeah, waiting for this one. There's no trade on NQ now. This is a nice comment, Raphael. I think one of the most valuable things people can learn from these CC live streams is how calm and collected you are when a level is hit. Even if the order flow is looking good, you don't jump on a trade. Yeah, that's it. So that's it. So what I try to teach is having a entry strategy that is set in stone. So there's no guessing when a level is hit of like, yeah, it might be a good reaction, might not be a good reaction. Okay, open interest increasing, volume increasing. Yeah, still I don't know 100%. So I have specific rules that I want to see when a level is hit, and only if I can tick off all my rules, I'm going to take the trade. So this is almost like a robotic way of trading. We look at context, we look at confluence, both given. We need the entry criteria. I need to see three things for my entry. Okay, members know three things. If all of these hit, or if all of these are given, I can take the trade, and then it's out of my hands. So at this point, I also have to release the responsibility for me to know whether I'm right or wrong. I've done everything in my power I can do. I've been patient, I've been conservative, I looked at all the metrics that I need to look at, and at this point it's just about, okay, I have to wait now and see if it plays out or not, but I can no longer affect any of it, because we as traders have no certainties about what's going to happen next. We only trade based off probabilities. Still, I feel like that one's lower. About a short scalp here. I see it, but I would like for NQ almost to take out the lows now into a better level. Just flip this. Is this worth a trade though? That is the question. Is this worth a trade? With this low volume, I don't think so. Okay, nice follow through at least. And now volatility, what did we have in terms of the news? But yeah, we want to see the lows, preferably. And it's just, I would say the market is just lifting all the liquidity as there's this speech going on, data coming in, so probably best to stay away. Let's wait on this. We have 8 minutes for hype to close the session. Trump, I have not reached out to Iran for peace talks. Okay. Don't see a great trade. What's Bitcoin up to? Still have some room on BTC lower. Tau, same. Hype, 7 minutes. Just have to see how well it's doing here. Oh, this is actually a nice reference point, so preferably we need to see the 30-minute closing above the point of control. The news feed you will get for the contenders subscription even. So this is a built-in news feed for Discord where you get just all of the data that's coming through. This is so slow. I'm gonna see if there's something that is moving a lot here on my watch list. All kinds is good. Something that really stands out. SPX is up. What's this? What's this here? Because there's some, in all of this red, there's something up 5% today. Kaito. Not interesting. It's down 5%. Supra. 6% down. Tel. It's just scanning to see if there's something like crazy bullish. No. Magic. Yeah, it's too slow. I'm gonna do that next. But I'm just waiting for this to activate and see. Oh. Why did you decide to stream London? This is just because we wanted to test it, and the stream yesterday didn't fit my schedule for NY. And I caught some really good good moves lately during London, so I just thought, let's give it a try, see if this is one of the days, but it's not, where we cannot really grab that good trade. It is what it is. Uh, 5 minutes, I'm just going to see if Hype can activate that trade, and then I might be wrapping it up after. Because it doesn't make sense to just wait and watch paint dry, right? Yeah, we can take a look at stocks. So we actually have a new stream that's going to start this Thursday because we have the markets closed on Thursday. There's a holiday in the US. And what Igor and myself are going to do is do a stock stream. So we're gonna have a look at the stocks because I recently updated my watch list on some investments which are really good. So yeah, just looking at some interesting picks there, and you can also let us know if there's something on your watch list that you want us to take a look at, get our thoughts on these stocks. So it's going to be Thursday at, I would say, 2 p.m. UK time, somewhere along that range. Is where we will be doing the stream, and yeah, interesting stuff. What was your job before you become a full-time trader? I studied management and economics and was then working at one of the big four. So I was working for PwC, and yeah, I was actually working with financial derivative instruments. So it was interesting, but that was my first contact with futures, forwards, options, and all that stuff. And at the time, I didn't know that I will be full-time trading these products at some point, but here we are now. At least I gained some knowledge about that and what companies use them for, which is interesting actually. If you look at hedging for companies, they use these products such as options, for example, if they do business in foreign countries where you have a volatility in foreign currencies, for example, that is where it makes sense to hedge just to get a sense of security. They pay a fee for it, but for them it's better to have a fixed fixed amount they can make just by hedging with options, as opposed to being affected by these fluctuations in foreign currencies, because there can be geopolitical events like we just saw, and this can massively impact foreign business transactions, for example. Me too. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, we have quite a few actually, which is very interesting. Take a look at silver. Well, let's see. Okay, and Q popping here. Let's see this close. We just need that good close above the point of control actually. So we have 10 seconds. This is not enough yet. We need to close above 975. Other than that, it wouldn't be my rule met here. No. Let's see what the 15-minute does. 5-minute. I have to stay patient still. I am not taking this long trade yet. Prefer to give it a little bit of time to see if we can at least take the highs and close above this. At least it's a close above this point of control. So now I'd be keeping an eye on the 5-minute. Place an alert here to see what's happening. Gold, nothing has changed here. Would like to see this move into 3,030.45 and this anchored VWAP for a long. Can look at silver then, but I think silver is at key resistance. Been looking at this years back, I think. It was hit in March. 20% drop. So what do we have here? It is the CC, it's the 1-to-1. It is key level and a monthly. If this is claimed, that is very bullish. If this is claimed, my next target is all-time high. Let's see, Let's see if there's at least a 5-minute close above this. Yeah, weekless 5-minute, I know that. It's more important though to check the 5-minute on altcoins in my opinion. So silver, if this is claimed, that's gonna be nice. Nice supply into demand here. We might be doing the same here. It's too early to class this as a breakout, but it's looking good. Let's only include this. Yeah, if we can claim this zone, I would say the target is 50. Place an alert for this, but I don't see a great buying opportunity on a pullback other than moving into 23. No, there's nothing. Be a local one. Would be this. Would be here. 30. Skype. Thank you, Jefe. No worries. I'm not in this trade yet. I at least need to see the close above this now as a sign of strength. BTC is not having it though. Tau, HYPE is the only one bouncing here. And the 30-minute didn't give us the bullish close here, so there's no activation yet. Let's see the futures again. Still flat. Yeah, so I would say I'm going to wrap it up here, but I explained to you exactly what I want to see here for me to take this trade on this. It is going to be a 30-minute close above 41.06. If we close a 30-minute here, then I would take this long trade, but I'm waiting for that. All my other alerts are placed. Tau, BTC, still waiting for that move into the lows. My plan on NQ and ES remains the same as on the stock market update, but it doesn't make sense to force a trade here. I'm going to take a break, come back later to see if there's a new trade to be had. We also have live trading during NY today, so Igor is going to do live trading at 2 p.m. UK time, trading NY Open live. So yeah, we have everything covered here. So see you all in the next streams, and hope you enjoyed this stream. Make sure to hit the likes below, because that's helping our channel a lot. And yeah, let us know if you like the stream, and I'm glad you own silver. Yeah, I am too. I am too. That I am a silver investor. Let's see if we can break into new all-time highs. So yeah, that's gonna be it. Have a great rest of the day. See you soon, and bye bye.